With the average selling price of a new car in Canada rising faster than that bread you were all making at the start of the pandemic, shopping for a new set of wheels can feel like an uphill battle as you try to balance wants and needs against some pretty good bang for your buck. So what about when you want to add all-wheel drive into the mix too? Well, it does complicate matters just a bit, but not enough to make this an impossible task. And come to think of it, there are actually quite a few good options out there, so here are 5 of my favorites. This list really begins and ends with the Seltos, and I know it was included in my list of the top 5 family haulers for under 50 grand, which you're gonna watch next, but that's because it's so damn good. Just in case my Jedi mind tricks don't work, let me break it all down for you. No, all-wheel drive isn't standard, but you can option it on the base trim for a total of about 27 grand before tax. What you're getting for the money is one of the most impressively practical little crossovers out there with spacious seating and good cargo capacity. It's also got decent driving manners and all kinds of features, even the cheapest version. Stuff like heated seats, alloy wheels, an 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's an impressive haul. You've got a spring for a more expensive trim to get any advanced safety stuff beyond blind spot monitoring, but here's the best part. Even the most expensive version stays below 35 grand before tax, making it one of the best values in the segment, period. Credit where it's due, the Seltos is fairly efficient, even with the upgraded turbo engine that comes in the top trim, but it can't touch the Canadian-made Toyota RAV4 hybrid, and that's one of the big reasons it lands on this list. Burning less gas than a Corolla while offering up some of the most space in the segment is an impressive 1-2 punch, but that's not all this gas-electric RAV4 has going for it. You get all kinds of advanced safety equipment like lane keep assist, forward collision warning with pedestrian detection and auto braking, blind spot monitoring, there's even adaptive cruise control that works in stop-and-go traffic, and that's all standard. On top of that, the all-wheel drive system is pretty slick since it uses a dedicated electric motor to drive the back wheels, so even when you need extra traction, it's not burning any more gas. And of course, you get a touchscreen infotainment system, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, heated front seats, and dual-zone automatic climate control, all for a hair less than $35,000 before tax. Of all the vehicles on this list, the Crosstrek is the only one that has full-time all-wheel drive, the kind that's constantly sending torque to all 4 wheels rather than only when you're accelerating or the front ones start to lose traction. That makes it all the more impressive that it's one of the most efficient ones here, with official ratings that ring in right around 8 liters per 100 kilometers combined, depending on the transmission you choose. But that's also what makes the Crosstrek so inherently cool. It's one of the only crossovers left you can still get with a manual transmission. Truth be told, the base engine's pretty gutless, but the 6-speed makes it a little more fun. And Subaru sweetened the pot by dropping the bigger engine from the Outback in it, which makes it properly powerful, but it's still rated to burn a combined 8 liters per 100 kilometers. Regardless of the engine, if you skip the manual, you can get with the smaller of the two. You get adaptive cruise, lane keeping, and auto braking up front, and it's all standard with the automatic transmission. Now consider that every trim but the most expensive one is priced between about 26 and 33 grand. There's also the Impreza hatchback, which doesn't have the ride height of the Crosstrek, but it does share the exact same body and it's a bit cheaper. Chevy brought the Trailblazer name back to use it for something completely different than it was before, and you know what? It's better. This thing's a lot like the Seltos as far as the dimensions go, so it makes great use of its footprint. Actually, it might even be just a bit better for people inside. Now, just like the Seltos, all-wheel drive isn't standard, but you can choose from 4 different all-wheel drive trims, ranging from about $22,000 to $33,000. It seems like there's always a catch with GM though, so here it is. Even the most expensive one needs add-ons to get stuff that come in other crossovers like this, including the Seltos, like adaptive cruise control, and you can't get stuff like ventilated front seats or heated rear seats. Those are disappointments, but they're not deal breakers, and you can still get yourself into one of the most stylish and spacious little crossovers out there that's even kind of fun to drive and keep it this side of that $35,000 threshold. You keen observers out there have probably noticed a serious lack of cars on a list of affordable all-wheel drive cars. Well, fingers and thumbs, as my boss likes to say, and that catch-all term really covers everything this side of pickup trucks these days. Something else to keep in mind is that there really aren't many conventional cars with all-wheel drive on the market here anyway. Sure, there's the Subaru Impreza, but that's so closely related to the Crosstrek, and you can't get it with the big engine. There's also the Subaru Legacy and Nissan Altima, or the Optima replacing Kia K5. But if we're talking mid-size sedans, then the answer has to be the Toyota Camry. $500 or so separate the LE and SE trims, which look standard or sporty depending on your preference. Otherwise, what you get is mostly the same: a fairly efficient 4-cylinder engine, all-wheel drive, and similar safety stuff to the RAV4. It's not exactly an exciting car, but that's never been the Camry's MO. It's always been about predictable, reliable transportation at a reasonable price. Adding all-wheel drive to the mix only makes it more appealing, and all for about $32.5 grand before tax. That's not bad at all. So that's it, that's the list. And you know, there are a bunch of other good options out there that deliver the same qualities as these 5 for about the same money, but as far as bang for your buck goes, it doesn't get much better.